Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar between Nor Securities and Rental. My name is Bruno Vinic. I'm co-founder at Nor Securities, a regulated exchange for tokenized real-world assets based out in Latin America. And today I'm here with Fernando Ors. Let me get your intro, Fernando. It's a very big one. Fernando Ors is an European-born American economist with more than 20 years of experience in strategic consulting, international business development, digital entrepreneurship, and managing RE and P investment funds. His academic background includes double degree, MBA, and master's in finance. He's also participated at Harvard Business School, Stanford, MIT, and Berkeley. Currently, he's chairman of Reental, a regulated digital asset issuer based in Spain and the US, right, Fernando? Please introduce a little bit on yourself and about Rental. A very quick boilerplate, so I can bring you our first question.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Bruno. It's a pleasure to be here with you and all your audience. And as you have indicated about me exactly, I'm based in Miami, where we got the headquarters of Reental, that it is American company with a holding in Delaware. And the most relevant thing I would say in order just to begin with the interest of the webinar about Reental, that it is a Web3 real estate investment platform, leader nowadays in tokenized assets under management in Europe and Latin America. And the reason why we decided to launch Reental nowadays 4 years ago is because after several years managing syndicated investment funds and making the rich richer, basically, we decided that it would be much better to make investing in real estate accessible to everyone with just 2 clicks and a minimum investment of $100. So that is why we began just to develop this solution that we have provided in the last 4 years, that average IRR of 13%. And more important, thanks to blockchain and the smart contracts, we can provide monthly passive incomes from our renting business model. And first time in history, 24/7 liquidity, thanks to that blockchain capability. And consequently, I would stress that a few weeks ago, we have also signed an agreement with ABE, the biggest loan platform with more than 30 billions nowadays. We are offering those collateralized loans with our own security tokens that we are going to offer, some of them for you. You can use them as collateral, which will allow you with this new leverage functionality basically to double the returns without assuming additional risks. And what else? I would finalize just stressing our community, that it is probably the most valuable part of the company. We got already more than 20,000 users from 87 countries. And in fact, 9 out of 10 of these investors are reinvesting with us. So that is why we has become the investing platform leader in Europe and in LATAM, and ready to enter in depth as you want, Bruno.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the intro. Yeah, I think what mostly concerns our investors, they are like people that already invest in, let's say, traditional real estate. They saw some opportunities in a tokenized way, but besides, let's say, the minimum investment, and I think we can go through the presentation you prepared for our investors. How does Rental differentiate itself from other competitors, even on Web3?
Well, I would say that Rental stands out through its unique merge of real estate advantages, tokenization advantages, and DeFi strengths. And in particular, we got an accessibility that no other crowdfunding platform can provide this global offer that allow investments starting at those $100. That tailor international investment options is also a very peculiar characteristics. You can diversify nowadays in the three main continents and soon in the four main continents. And the user-friendly platform, since you can invest and disinvest with just a few clicks. Most of our investors, they really are interested in those monthly passive income that you receive, by the way, automatically, thanks to the smart contracts. And additionally, the enhanced liquidity 24/7, the cost-effective transfer, and in some cases, fiscal advantages that obviously results in higher yields. So there are many other unique features. Perhaps let's highlight the vaults we got that allow you to reinvest and postpone the payment of taxes, or the peer-to-peer marketplace where you can sell 24/7 the security tokens in case you need liquidity. And obviously, since we are a Web3 company that you mentioned, this meritocratic governance, thanks to our successful utility token, the RNT, by the way, with a return of 4 times return from those who invested in our IDO pre-sale campaign. And I would say especially critical this DeFi approach, with the collateralized loans offering, thanks to this agreement with Aave. Basically, that means that the currently average of 13% IRR that we are providing, with this leverage option, you can easily be increased to 26 IRR. As, by the way, we will see in the presentation. So I would say that comparing with other competitors, our main milestones up to now is that we are already operating on those 3 continents. In just 4 years, we have become that leader in tokenized assets under management. And in terms of recurrent growth, by the way, in 2024, we are going to close this year increasing 2 times revenues and EBITDA, that, by the way, is positive from 2 years ago. And again, the most relevant thing, it is the community trust, since that 92%, in fact, of our investors invest with us. And thanks to the network effect and traction that we have achieved, we have created this wonderful community that it is interacting constantly among them, those 20,000 users from those 86 countries. And basically, with just word of mouth, we continue with that recurring 35% quarterly growth. So if you add to all these achievements the potential new or next milestones, since we are also developing the possibility of making monthly transfer, inclusive monthly fiat transfer to our imminent index funds. And we are also going to become the only Web3 investing platform with a Web2 user experience, with a very peculiar new human wallet, as we call it. And we are also negotiating agreements to become probably the first real-world asset investing platform, to be offered to anyone, not only millennials, digital, that it is basically the principal investors or the target nowadays, but also to high net worth individuals, very high net worth individuals of wealth management firms, since probably there is also now a new potential approach. But what I guess is that your audience is going to be more interested in how do they invest, or how do they take the advantage of the promotion that we got nowadays, that it is especially interesting in Marbella, in the south of Spain.
That's amazing. I'm very excited to see deeply the presentation. I think on the Web2 interface, for the moment it's very important. I would ask you the profile of investor that you have today, like if they are more a Web3 investor or more a Web2. I believe, my opinion, they are more Web2, because we're talking about great yields for when you look at real estate market or fixed income markets. But the Web3 now, it's like looking for the 1,000%. So I believe the ones that are the most, let's say, rational investors, they're like the perfect fit for rental assets. For example, Marbella, the one that we will be offering together. I would add more currencies also to the fiat accepted. Our presence in Latin America will bring new opportunities for both of us and for both of the communities. I I would just ask you, like, am I right in my opinion? How is the investor profile today? What kind of, and also, uh, how does the investment works at the end of the day? It's like a rental. You buy it at the end of the duration. It is guaranteed the principal that you invested. How does that process works? Which ones are the risks for the investors at the end of the day?
Well, obviously, the advantage we got is that our subjacent or the active we are proposing is real estate. So basically, it's the same risk that normally you got whenever you invest in any real estate opportunity. Obviously, in this case, you are taking the opportunity of interacting with professionals who are just prospecting and selecting distressed, value added, use changing opportunities. So obviously, we have been running this business with other syndicated investment funds, and consequently, we got very good relationships with brokers and banks. And in some cases, we are also not only residential, commercial, industrial, but also we are tokenizing debt or promoter and constructor loans. And well, consequently, you can achieve two different opportunities, some of different characteristics according with your profile. Some of them has to do with higher returns. Some of them, the period of investment is shorter. In most of the cases, you are going to go have those passive incomes. But in any case, the advantages of real estate is that in most of the countries we are managing these opportunities, you are going to have fiscal advantages that you can also add to that net return. And there are especially some added value or distress, flipping, co-living, co-working. We are transforming buildings now that most of the people are going to home, no, with this home working. Instead, there are some opportunities in big cities, middle-sized cities that obviously you need to have that access. At first, most of the people, they don't have it. But additionally, obviously, we are adding this tokenization approach that provide that liquidity, that smart contracts, Syria, and DeFi, that basically is a booster for your returns, because assuming the same risk, in our case, you don't have the volatility that you got in another Web3 or other digital assets. And consequently, you can also use that leverage to optimize your investment. In fact, you mentioned, Bruno, what is the profile of our investors, and most of them are obviously digital investors. A lot of investors who had very good returns with digital assets such as Bitcoin, and they want just to move into a more real world asset. No, okay, I got these returns. I'm gonna sell 50% of my investment, and I want just to have them in a diversified portfolio. And normally, most of them are just obviously interacting with us. Some others are just fighting or hedging inflation, especially in Latin America. That obviously it is a critical issue. And obviously, the passive income, it is not easy to find in other alternatives. No, and in this case, the returns that we are providing, those 30% in the last 3-4 years, it is not easy to find. Obviously, not from the banks, but inclusive in other alternative investments. Probably you're going to need to face higher risks in order to achieve those returns. No, so consequently, it's a small ticket to test us. You got liquidity, you got passive income, you got access to international options, and you can make the most of the compound interest with our wallet, and you can have also the advantage of the compound leverage with the AVE agreement, no? Additionally to those peculiar fiscal and taxes advantages that normally most of the countries have to promote investing in real estate. Other alternatives and other advantages, obviously, of the Web3 ecosystem is the governance and the meritocratic management approach. I mean, what we are doing first time in history in this sector is we are sharing with our users and every stakeholder all the benefits and all the growth of the company, no? And that would be another ad hoc webinar, no, about the utility token, no, and how we are
Absolutely.
using that to provide all kind of perks and benefits.
Perfect. Okay, so based on all of that you mentioned, okay, how is the yield composed? So it is 100% from the rental of the properties, or part of it come from the sale? And two questions in one, okay. These contracts for the properties opportunities, are they public for the investors?
Yeah, regarding the returns, always it's the combination of the renting business model. That's why we call us rental, because normally we differentiate about other potential rates or SOFIMIs or other investment funds that normally you need to have blocked your money for 4 or 5 years up to receiving your capital and the appreciation. In our case, not only you got that 24/7 liquidity because you can sell the tokens we are going to offer today of Marbella. In any case, you can sell them in our peer-to-peer marketplace. But additionally, you are going to receive automatically, monthly, those passive incomes from the dividends, quote unquote, or from the rent of that promotion that is going to be part of the 14% on average that we got. Let's say it is obviously depend on its promotion, but just summarizing it a lot, it would be 50% comes, 7% in this case, from the renting business model, and 6-7% comes from the appreciation, the annual appreciation, and obviously the annual also renting
Yeah.
business model, no? And consequently, it is those two principal sources.
And after the just to clarify, after the duration. So, for example, Marbella has a 24-month duration. After the duration, the asset is sold. That's the, in order to pay the principal. That's the plan.
Yeah, exactly. Normally, the standard promotion is we acquire it in a very aggressive and benefited price versus comparables of that same city or neighborhood. And we normally got the, depending on the promotion, because we got also a lot of flipping that it is very quickly reforms. But normally it is 1-2 years in which we don't only just reform in some cases or add value, but at the same time, we got that premise just having interest in renting yield, and we wait at least 2 years in order just to make the most of the appreciation. No, we especially with this
Sure.
inflation that we are suffering everywhere, and it is that advantages that we are defending ourselves or taking advantage of the inflation with this kind of investment in assets. And consequently, exactly, it's what you are going to have in the case of Marbella. By the way, with all the security and all the support that you also mentioned before about what is the legal framework of support. In our case, we got properties launched from Spain. The company is originally funded in Spain, and we offer syndicated loans through security token offerings there, compliant, by the way, with the regulations and standards of the National Security Market Commission. So obviously, we are always working under a specific regulation, and or we launch also from the United States, and here we adhere to the Security Exchange Commission regulation, no? Acquiring its property through a new LLC, and that structure provides regulatory compliance for both accredited U.S. investors through the Rule D506C and international investors that obviously is going to affect to your audience through Regulation S. What I mean is that they are going to be able to participate in any of our promotions according with the launching from Spain or United States.
It's great. Okay, so getting to more into the countries, I believe you always look for, uh, let's say, sorry, let's say emergent cities or countries with where you have more liquid real estate markets, so then you can exit those investments after 2 or 3 years. Uh, I know, and I saw in your website that you already are in the U.S. You have real estate in the U.S., in Spain, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and I'm wondering if you have already expansion plans, if you are looking to any specific country in order to bring the rental operation that is very successful. It started in Spain, then the US. So, which ones are the future plans uh, in terms of countries that you want to approach?
Effectively, we began in those countries since we're the most demanded from our audience and community, because again, although we have no DAO working properly, we got a very close relationship with our community through Discord, Telegram, and constantly we are just asking and just developing surveys and focus groups about, okay, what are your preferences, no? And according with that, obviously, Spain is very demanded since we began to focusing on the Spanish-spoken market. After that, obviously, US that we enter. And as you were mentioning, no, our idea is to expand the business. We are already in Mexico. We are in Argentina too, that you didn't mention.
I didn't know.
Dominican Republic too. And by the way, we are looking for partners in Brazil, and probably next steps will cover the Emirates, since they are also very crypto friendly, and probably Asia, no, Singapore.
No, that's great. Okay, so if you need a partner in Brazil, we have a very big community with real estate developers too, that are part of our investor base that we could partner it. You could partner with. So I think we have some other business to develop later. Then, do you think we should go directly to the opportunity? I see in the chat some questions about the APRs, the ARRs, token value, duration, how to invest. So, what do you think about we going to directly to the opportunity?
Well, if you want, let me go to the presentation in order just to let everyone that they can review it. We can send it to them about rental, the business model, and I guess that many of those doubts are gonna be solved. Let me confirm if I can share my screen. Oops. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, now everyone can see.
Okay, just to go very quickly, I'm not gonna stop. Basically, I'm gonna do a quick zoom in each of these slides in order just to let them know that if they want, just afterwards we will send the data about the presentation and the opportunity. In this initial presentation, since in some occasions we don't know what is the knowledge about tokenization, about blockchain, what are the opportunities that blockchain is bringing on the table, benefits and so on. There is an introduction about what does it mean, tokenization, and especially why the real world assets or the alternative investments are being especially interesting for all kind of companies, including obviously the banks and the financial sector, and how we are already in fact collaborating with some of the movements to tokenize and to regulate in all the continents we are running the business, and also some macro data about why we are in this business and what the principal consulting firms think about what is going to happen with the tokenization market. In this case, Boston Consulting Group, they consider that in 2030 probably 10% of the gross domestic product will be tokenized. That means 16 trillion. In real estate, 3 trillion. Similar approach from McKinsey that identifies real estate as the sector most impacted. Ernst & Young indicating that most of the high net worth individuals are just beginning to invest in this kind of tokenized assets, and what they are already doing, especially in private equity and real estate. Banks such as Citi, that at the same time they are already anticipating that they need to participate in this tokenized new world. Obviously, residential real estate being the principal protagonist, and where we are also focused initially. And well, some explanations about how we have evolved or are evolving from finance, digital finance, and digital assets finance, so these decentralized new markets. So since I understand that your audience are very familiar with this kind of considerations, I'm gonna go to Reental after understanding that we have that merge of blockchain, tokenization, DeFi, and artificial intelligence and machine learning, as you are gonna see. So we normally present the company and the opportunities, indicating that, okay, depending on the audience, just to send clear messages. We are making investing real estate available to anyone. We got more than 50 million already tokenized. That community of more than 20 users from 87, in fact, countries. These slides are obsolete in seconds. And we are that leading platform that allow you the possibility of investing international real estate with these peculiarities. Some of them I have already mentioned, so I'm going to go very quickly about all these liquidity, minimum ticket, passive monthly payments, in this case, investment without borders, collateral loans. And as we were saying, buy to high down payments, buy to difficulty to find good opportunities, and goodbye also several years of lockup in order just to have your investment in real estate. That about the size of the market. This one is precisely the business model and our fees. We just tokenize those opportunities and we charge that 10%. And after that, we share the appreciation with the investors. 60% of the appreciation goes to the co-investors, 40% for the company. We always got that skin in the game. We are not going to offer nothing that we are not investing a minimum. And with those fees, after those fees is when we are offering that 14% net. So nowadays, we are in those 3 continents. And basically, as I was mentioning, this growth, it has been basically thanks to word of mouth. We haven't invested in marketing yet, and it has been obviously just understanding most of our audience precisely this comparison landscape. What are the advantages, not only of real estate versus stocks or other digital assets, gold, bonds, and CDs, but it's particularly Reental got some other advantages different to real estate, such as the accessibility and the liquidity and blah, blah, blah. Everything we have already covered. And consequently, these returns versus any potential alternative, inclusive the index, Standard & Poor's or gold or Bitcoin inclusive, because this year it has been very good, but it was not the case in 2022 whenever we began with all this process. Here, by the way, is the answer to your question about the profile of our investors that also we have basically covered, how they are trying to defy hyperinflation and hedge volatility and so on. Our focus in LATAM, and basically because 90% got smartphones, and obviously it is one of the interests of the company, continue growing there, but also internationally, as we have mentioned it. We are the only platform that we are testing. It is too soon to confirm, but obviously I can guarantee that the results are wonderful. Whenever you use, especially in the US, all the data that we got, public and private, using AI and ML, we are identifying according with some KPIs. We are identifying regarding population, employment, income, and so on. We are identifying what are the principal buildings, corners that we could transform from office to could be a multifamily, could be a condo, could be a co-working, could be a co-living, and so on. No, and consequently, that is our expertise. And again, using technology is not the knowledge about the real estate market, but also how to make the most of the nowadays technologies. And well, consequently, some of the projects we got several already world records in terms of timing that we have sold properties, but also we are the first company in the world that has tokenized co-living, or that has tokenized a co-working, or that has entered the Mexican market tokenizing, United States, as we were mentioning. Not only residential, we are also tokenizing beachfront urban developments. And as we were saying, the process, it's as simple as some people call us the Amazon one click in real estate, as you are gonna see, no? As soon as you enter in our site, that we can review it very quickly, no? And consequently, probably Steve Jobs, if he would be the CEO, would say hello to Reental. Now you got not only 1,000 songs in your pocket, but also 1,000 props in properties, no, in your pocket if you are interested. So I'm gonna leave all the relevance that obviously got the smart contracts, Ethereum, DeFi that we have already mentioned, and all the new functionalities of the company, especially those collateralized loans and the peer-to-peer marketplace. The message perhaps most relevant, I would summarize in this slide. No, if you just take the next generation solutions, you just added the investment options 3.0. You got a new financial product that in fact is the best financial product you can have, because you got the peer-to-peer marketplace, meaning liquidity, the compound interest and fiscal advantages, and the collateralization option that allow you the compound leverage. And consequently, some slides about this is our peer-to-peer marketplace, where you can buy or sell your tokens. There are some examples, but I think that your audience knows perfectly how does it work, the compound interest, and how does it work Aave, and who is Aave, and why we are offering this capability of duplicate your yield with the collateralization. And I'm going to pass all the utility token, because although we think that, as we are saying, he is the highest utility in the market for those interested in joining the community, that you are going to be part of it once you got one token.
Every NR Securities customer is already part of Reental's community.
Exactly. And in this case, you can also take the advantage of these benefits and perks, since you are going to have exclusive access to some investments, priority access to the secondary market. You got DeFi incentives, training, free nights and discounts in our touristic apartments and hotels associated, and so on. No, and basically, as we were saying, this is very hard, and the industry is just looking at us, no, with very good eyes, no, because what we are saying is that if you just sum all the benefits of the tokenized real estate environment with the DeFi, you got 3 times more benefits and profitability, and this is math. And consequently, this is the real distress for our competitors, because we are not just speaking about other things that taking technology and math and just interact with them. So maintaining the same risk. I mean, it is this subjacent active that is a real estate. Okay, of course you got part of risk there, because it's never is going to happen with real estate that you are going to lose 100%, for example, or inclusive 20%. It is very strange that suddenly a real estate assets receive that. Well, in the 2008, because peculiar situation, but I mean, normally it is much safer investment than any other financial product. And additionally, if you just consider the capabilities of the DeFi, the collateralization and the fees you could obtain from farming, staking, and so on, obviously it is completely different. And it is, as we say, this is the Netflix of the real estate versus the blockbusters, no, that are looking at us saying, I don't understand what you are doing, but I'm afraid that you are right, no? And well, different smart housing, cities, smart renting. We also cover the most relevant thing. Obviously, we are managers of risks more than any other thing. So this is another aspect critical of the company and why we are transforming or taking the opportunity of this transformation from offices to co-livings or to co-workings. What is happening with the inventory and how we are taking opportunity of that lack of inventory in most of the cities we are investing, and what has happened historically with the residential prices, the housing prices, and so on, inclusive from a corporate perspective, why companies such as Anderson Horowitz, no, that they use a lot this burn multiple analysis. Basically, what we are stressing here is that our business model is so efficient in terms of costs that's why our returns can be much higher than any other competitor. But that is also another webinar to enter in. And after confirming that you can imagine that we are receiving all kind of prizes of excellence in innovation, most innovative company, consulting firms such as Deloitte indicating, okay, this is the main player in residential tokenization in their last PropTech reports and so on. Although it is absolutely this early adopters phase in this market, we are already perceiving that the growth is the same or bigger than the e-commerce. So we are sure that very well positioned, and inclusive the high net worth individuals are confirming that, because more and more people with money, let's call it, they are just beginning to give more percentage to their portfolios to this kind of investment. In fact, nowadays they have gone from 6% to 25%, and the reason is because that 25% is providing them almost 50% of the returns. So what is happening with the top investors, why they are obtaining those returns, and what was the principal limitation, that you need a minimum ticket of 5 million to do what the principal funds were doing. Nowadays, with blockchain and with this capability of interacting globally, you don't need 5 million, you just need $100. And obviously, the initial target that is taking opportunity of this is the millennials, that are obviously the most digital population. And we are already anticipating what is already happening, that is the regulation, no? In many of those countries, specific regulations. We didn't need a specific regulation, but in fact, this is going to be a very good idea, very good news next year, because it's going to be much more social and understood by everybody. By the way, well, this is a link to my book. If you want to understand much better, there is this smarter alternative investments on sale in Amazon. But the critical aspect is this promotion for your audience, no? That it is this city, Marbella, that it is the most luxurious and most visited in the southeast coast of Spain, and you can participate in this promotion that probably is going to disappear in the following days, and it's a way just to test us and to obtain that 13% return.
Yes, it will disappear. So we have our first number. Let's shall we dive into the commercial dossier just very quickly, Fernando? Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys. So now we get into our first offering, joint offering. This will be the first asset, the first real estate offered on North Securities platform to North Securities investor. The ticket will be not that higher, so it will end very quickly. Please please pay attention to our social media and to your community groups, because we are launching a whitelist campaign, so you can secure a spot on this first offer on this paradise in southeast Spain. Please, Fernando.
Yeah, no, I was going to stress that for sure they are going to receive this dossier that explains obviously the opportunity investment with all the data about the city, the location, the market analysis, the investor model, the returns according with your status. That once you enter in the site, you will see the potential different status and what is the roadmap and the status nowadays, the project, and so on. And perhaps the other aspect that could be useful for your audience is, let me see if whenever they receive this, you can enter in Reental.co and you will see all these options at the top of the page. So what I would suggest, obviously, I suggest just to browse most of these different options. If you go, by the way, to the dashboard, you will have something like this, just to let you know something very quickly, no? But or if you go to the properties, that it is where you are going to have the possibility of, well, in this case is the peer-to-peer, there is a DApp and so on. But well, what I would suggest, let's go to help. In order just to invest with us, you can go to contact, and you are going to have here a get advice or write to us. But if you go to get advice, you are going to have the possibility of establishing a conference call with one of our service team, and consequently whatever you want, and they are going to assist you to with the process, whatever you got. If it is
Great.
fiat, it is crypto, it is whatever. So my suggestion would be, obviously you can enter in Reental, and to see, you will see that we got all kind of for example, in each of them you are going to be able to play with our how can you calculate according with, well, this is the wealth part, but it's for our VIP, let's call it. But you are going to be able to see all the different properties, and of course you are going to have in all of them the frequent asked questions, all doubts. Probably most of them are already solved them. And obviously you got contact here also, if you prefer email or contact us via WhatsApp or whatever. So I recommend just to interact and to enter the sooner the better, in order just to confirm that you are going to have because let's see, nowadays, for example, if we go here, you can change at the bottom of the page, by the way, you can change the the language you prefer, and inclusive if you prefer black or white. Well, but basically, whoops, looks, this Marella, it's almost finished. But okay, we hope that you're going to have the opportunity to enter in this one. Whenever you are here, it's as simple as this. You just click that button. You are going to have here all the description, location, token data, the documents, obviously, the subscription agreement and the memo. And after that, it's just, okay, let's invest. And you will have obviously a digital account, or we can assist you to create it. And according with whatever amount you want to invest, you just confirm that you have read the white paper and the token subscription agreement. And I have entered with an account without money, because for webinars, I take that consideration. And then it's just click buy. And consequently, again, if you got any doubt at any moment, you are gonna be able to go to help and to ask for assistance to any of our investors advisors in contact. Anything else? Do you think that do we need just to review, Bruno, or what do you suggest to finalize? Oops, what happened?
Yeah, sorry. Bruno dropped for a moment. He got some technical issues, probably internet. I'll just drop actually a question. Again, we're in a space. Sure, it's very attractive for, let's say, traditional investors, Web2, but yet still we're in the Web3 world. And yeah, for crypto native users, just so they understand a bit more what's happening behind the scenes at your end, which chain are you guys using to list these particular tokens?
Polygon. We have tested, well, we are agnostic because we began, in fact, with Ethereum. We have tested Binance. Nowadays, we are using the cheapest in order to optimize the return of our users. So nowadays, Polygon, although we could work in any of them.
Nice. And have you guys thought about expanding in different marketplaces, different chains? Is that something in your roadmap, or for now you're focusing on Polygon?
Well, it is depending on the advantages of changing. In the same way we changed it from Ethereum, that obviously the gas was very expensive, we moved to Binance. And whenever we found that it was, in our case, our smart contracts are very simple. And consequently, we don't need a lot of different technicalities in order to optimize our user experience. So whenever it is a better option different to Polygon, we will consider it. But in the meantime, we consider it as the best one, especially because it's the cheapest.
Yeah, makes sense. Agreed. And yeah, we definitely suffered over time, especially beginning of the whole DeFi movement of super expensive gas fees. And yeah, just seeing the tech come together and giving you the ability to actually expand and build on top with platforms that can actually scale. And in this case, when we're talking about fees, of course, that enables you to even provide users, investors, better fees or better investment opportunities. For us, most likely that's it. I think Bruno might not be able to join, but it's been a real pleasure. Fernando, super excited. With this partnership, it is, let's say, in my opinion, it's definitely a one step towards making this whole stack become mainstream. It's a real use case. It's something that investors, users are familiar with. Just seeing it come together 12, 13 years later, and having TradFi investment opportunities on chain is it's definitely a huge milestone. So yeah, excited with the partnership. Looking forward for definitely the upcoming listing at Enora's platform. And yeah, we'll be coming with some more details there on our comms. Keep your eyes open.
Okay, wonderful, Filippo. Let me finish. I was considering that perhaps just to give also a quick review of our DApp, since we haven't entered in the utility token, but I think it's a good also opportunity for those interested in not only those returns that we are providing with the security tokens and the real estate, but just to let you know, we were speaking what differentiate us. Well, you can enter in Reental DApp, as you can see here in the domain, the adp.rental.co, or from Rental, obviously, you're going to have the access to Rental. But what I would like to stress is that, let me show you, from this part of this menu, we haven't processed in order just to focus on the properties. But you can obviously to interact with our DApp, and whenever you enter in the DApp, it's part of our differentiation. It is not going to be easy to find this kind of returns of farming if you just want to join us. So in the stats, you're going to have all the detail about the transparency of the company, the evolution of our rewards. As you can see, basically green numbers where we got a 60% return since our IDO, that obviously you can also enter in the documentation, and you have access to the white paper where you are going to be able to see absolutely all the details of our tokenomics and how we are working and why the company is achieving the results we are achieving, and basically to understand much better for those more techie or more interested in what is the tokenomics or the math that we are using in order to confirm that it got a lot of sense, to be part of our community. And let me finish. You got also in YouTube our own channel, Reental TV, in which you are going to have all kind of videos just describing all potential doubts, interviews with some of the most relevant users and partners, among them, for example, very prestigious CEOs or inclusive professional basket players such as Luis Escola, that it is not only equity investors, but also a very relevant property investors. Well, I mean, you can see in all the media, we have been interviewed all over the world. And if you want to see also the presentation you have seen, and if you got contact me with any other doubt, you can enter in my profile of LinkedIn, and you will have access to the same presentation we have seen today here in Reental. These three attachments, in fact, is the presentation of today, the tokenomics, and some descriptive videos about the company. So at everybody disposal to interact, and if you got any doubt, again, to solve any potential doubt or interest that your audience could have.
Yeah, amazing. Great stuff. Very good content. Appreciate for sharing. And yeah, looking forward to the collaboration, to listing yet one more RWA product at Enora's exchange. And yeah, looking forward to the upcoming ones.
Wonderful. Sounds like a plan. Thank you very much, Filippo. I'm sorry I cannot say goodbye to Bruno, but it is what happened with we are just recording direct. And thank you very much to the rest of Enor team and to your audience. We keep in contact.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.